Hi, I'm the New England Psychic Medium, or Jasenia. I want to talk about my appointments and the best way to book in case anybody on here is wondering. The system is a little bit difficult to understand sometimes because it's unique to me. So it's not something you can see on other people's pages. There's not something you know anything about unless you've already had reports with me. So I do regular psychic medium readings. By regular, I mean that they're more on the average kind of what to expect when you see a psychic medium. Most of my reports, because I have clients all over the world, are done with a 24-hour window, meaning that the time you book really doesn't matter. It's all about just scheduling and not over-scheduling myself. So the way that it works is you would schedule an appointment, not for the medium ones. Medium ones are different, but you would schedule a psychic appointment or an Akashic record report. Anytime really, and you just have to be aware or alert that Sunday before your session you get an email questionnaire, you give me the information I need, then I create a report and I give it to you. I deliver it via email 24 hours around your booking window. So it really helps because it gives us a lot of flexibility. If you're really busy people, you don't need to take time off your schedule. I do a lot of energetic work and reconstruction during all of my healings. Even my mediumship sessions are incredibly healing. They're based around healing and transformation. And they all include healing. So when some reasons somebody might come to me for a psychic reading include, regular psychic information. What job or what career is really the best choice for me right now? Is this relationship good for me? What about my twin flame? What's obstructing my growth? How can I find balance in my life? All of these things are things people come to me for all the time. They come to me for these questions. So a mediumship reading is a little bit different because when I do a mediumship session, I want to be connecting with the person. So I do them live. And by live, I mean we do them via Messenger on Facebook or text or email. And the reason being because I currently am a one-lady team. So I have a lot of, it can be very difficult to schedule and work things through, but also I am incredibly emotional when I do mediumship connections. It's one of the hardest connections for me to do. And the reason being, I'm an emotional empath. So I'm very, very sensitive and I'm feeling all the emotion coming in from the people I'm contacting and from the client. So I get a lot of, it's incredibly powerful for me and it's very difficult for me sometimes. And a lot of the times people who are coming through are seeking forgiveness for something that happened and they are incredibly emotional. And some of these connections really put me into, a very sad state. And it's a lot easier to write through tears and emotion than it is to talk through it. And I've had to have people wait on the phone so that I could kind of get through my emotions. Like I said, I feel everything from both sides, so it's just incredibly overwhelming. And sometimes, that includes how they passed or how they were physically feeling before they passed. So I do offer in-person sessions too. In-person sessions can be booked through the website and they say in-person. If there isn't availability on that schedule, just ask and I'll open up a day. Like I said, I do all my own scheduling. I do all my own work. So if you contact somebody from my page, you're contacting me directly. So if you need a date open, I will very happily open a date for an in-person session. Right now, most of my in-person sessions are done in Sudbury, Mass at Healing Point Therapeutics. I love the space. Marissa's amazing, and I feel very comfortable there. And I love the people there. I've met a lot of amazing people who see me at the office, and it's a really nice place to be. So then I go to my Akashic reports. My Akashic reports are definitely unique, to say the least. Akashic report system, so I'm an Akashic realm channeler. What this means is the Akashic realm is essentially a database of soul information. So this has kind of the most complicated information included. We can talk about soul families, we could talk about past lives, we could talk about your spirit guides, we could talk about your many life themes, we can talk about your spiritual gifts. So these are things that I see when talking to an everyday client. So I had to split this system up into multiple reports because it was way too much to kind of just throw in somebody's face at the first time. And when I have clients, if I'm seeing past lives, if a client has had 200 lives and looking and shifting through 200 different situations that could have caused them some kind of trauma or pain or blockages in their current life. So the way I've come about doing this is I've created a 3-report system. Now there are bonus reports that I've attached to it that I'll go over, but the major reports are 3 major reports: Akashic Report 1, 2, and 3. Akashic Report 1 is really about your soul, how your soul was created, what energy centers you have that are heightened, and where you incarnated after you were created. So it has to do with your soul structure. It has to do with your life themes. It has to do with ways that you repeatedly block yourself, or ways that we could find abundance based on your soul's creation. So it has a lot of really cool aspects that are very unique that most people don't offer. And this can be really amazing because, first, it's a recorded session, so you can listen to it as many times as you want, and that's amazing to me. And that to me is priceless, to have essentially your recorded information available. And that's also one of the reasons I do the mediumship connection over text or messenger or email, because to me that piece, I get some of the most beautiful messages that come through from the ones we love. And honestly, it's just, when I think about my deceased relatives, if I could have that snapshot, I would put it on a wall somewhere and I would frame it and I would keep their words with me to remind me that, our loved ones are with us even after they've crossed over, and they are literally communicating with us. I get really beautiful things like specific phrases they would use, or specific words, or amazing words of encouragement. It's just such a beautiful thing, and to have that with you, to keep that is like I said, it's a beautiful thing. So again, when you get your report, you could listen to your report as many times as you want, because there's a lot of terms and information on there. Now, all 3 reports really take me about 3 hours to prepare. It's not like a one-shot thing. I know the scheduling says an hour because I block out an hour for each report on my scheduling. But they take me a lot more than that. It takes me a long time to prepare the report, to check through the report, and then to channel the report. So it is a long system. So Report 1 was created by Andrea Hess. This is a modality in which I'm certified, and it's called Soul Realignment. And the reason why I birthed Report 2 and 3 was because I saw way more than this report provided. So I had to do more. Essentially, if I saw more, I had to do more. So after we're done with the basic soul structure, we move on to the current life. Now, the current life, like I said, if we have 200 layers, we're going to be obstructed in different ways at different layers. So first report being the really intense, deep soul trauma, tears to the aura, tears to the soul. Really, these are the really, really intense lives that have blocked us so deeply that we now have soul trauma. These ones are healed and removed, and now when we move to the next step, the next lives are a lot easier to heal and remove. Now, these are lives that block us in our current life. For example, we might have issues with love in this life. We might have issues with finances in this life. We might have issues with self-respect or self-love. And with those things, now we can go back and search and scan any lives. And I call it soul reconstruction, as I remove the blocks and damage. And I write this all in the report, so you have the whole thing with you. I do a lot of energy work, and I do a lot of soul reconstruction. I repair the damage that I find. I don't just let it linger. And you get the full report delivered to you again, so you can read it however many times you want, and you have 24 hours to ask questions on any of the reports. So 24 hours after you receive it, you can ask questions on the information given to you. And many times, guides will make themselves present in report 2 or 3. But in case you have, for example, this bonus report was created because of demand. I began to see that I had a couple of clients who had really rare soul families and really rare creators, meaning that there might be 1 out of 10 souls incarnated on Earth who are built the same way that they are. So in a case like this, I recommend that they do more searching into their soul group and that they connect more to their soul group, because it really helps them find tools for for being prosperous and for being comfortable here in the physical world. Many times these rarer soul groups have a lot of side effects to their connections, which could look like nerve problems, anxiety, or problems connecting. And so, of course, beyond medical help and beyond what they're already doing, it's nice sometimes to understand where that's coming from. And I always recommend, obviously, that people do what their medical practitioners advise, as I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm just a deliverer of spirit and spiritual information. So report 2 really being about this current life and how your life feels blocked or is blocked by our past life experiences or by our soul structure. And then we move on to gifts. And the reason we do gifts last is because I activate gifts. Part of my report is gift activation and healing. And many times they will not allow me to activate a gift if a person has too much soul trauma. The reason being that healing is always going to be your priority. It just makes sense. You can't give a damaged person a weapon or a tool that could essentially hurt them more. Many times, using our gifts inappropriately actually causes us sickness and illness and problems. So if we are already at a place where we are not healing and we're feeling obstructed, then we can't be opening gifts and activating gifts. We have to first heal and reconstruct and be solid in our own presence and with our own energy functioning at our soul's fullest potential. And then we can move on to activate gifts and train gifts. Now, report 4, I added as a bonus report because some people take this Akashic system and they dive deep. They get really deep in there and they make all the changes and they follow the reports and they immediately see their gifts amplifying. And that can be kind of scary to some people because, you might have worked 20 years on your gifts and all of a sudden everything is so clear and vivid and you're getting a lot of intuition, and it can be really scary for some people. And so we created the report so that we could go back and check in and tune up any gifts and talk about, new birthings or branches of those gifts and talk about how to use them in their current life so that they're not erratic and that they could be tuned into. And I also added report 2A. I think it's 2A. 2A has to do with twin flames. This one is because when we go through report 2, sometimes people still want more information on their relationship. Report 2 is not centered in relationship. It might talk about relationships generally if you have an issue taking on a lot of damaging relationships. So it goes over our relationships specifically. If we've taken on a lot of relationships in our surroundings, we might feel very blocked or obstructed, or we might want more information on our marriage or how to call in our twin flame or to find love healing. And sometimes this has to do about self-love too. Self-love is really one of the largest blocks to the heart chakra. So, and our heart chakra is one of our largest chakras. So it can be something that requires more work. So in that case, if you have a situation that requires more attention, we can now focus on the full report. And what other sessions do I offer? Spiritual development. Now, my spiritual development group is a really fun group. This is about people who are really serious about spiritual development because it's kind of like a boot camp. It gets together 5 to 6 weeks, depending on if we have any holidays or anything. And we start with an opening to spirituality, and we talk about a lot of, it really is like a boom class. It's a ton of information in your face all at once. There's over 13 hours of recordings and lectures in the class. There's a ton of posts, there's homework, and you get all 3 Akashic reports. I have had people come to me who have been looking for answers for years and never really found answers. I have found people who have been in spirit circles for years and never got the answers they wanted, been completely comfortable and happy with the class. I have had amazing feedback, and I really, really love that. And it's actually the reason I created my book. My book was created based on the class information because I was getting such good feedback. People wanted a physical copy, so that is actually why I created it, by demand. So the class goes over the book, but it goes over a lot of new information that isn't in the book. I am learning every single day. Every single day I have a new perspective, a new addition, a new video to post, and I can't wait to be doing more of that, and it really is something that excites me. Another option for regular development is a spirit circle I have, and it's called Compassion Congregation, and it is a group on Facebook. Now, this is subscription only because I want people to take the work seriously. I really want people to come in and be serious about change and be serious about spiritual development, and I have gathered a bunch of lovely people so far, and it's been really fun. And in a private group, I have the ability to be freer with my discussions, to talk about controversial things, to talk about things that people might disagree with, and still have a respectful community that's listening in and giving their respectful opinions. And it's a really lovely way to develop and grow. And it's a nice way to get people to ask questions and be involved. You know, for example, if you've heard something online that, you know, you're questioning and you want more information on, I'm never the kind of person who says, well, I don't know about that, and I just don't care to learn. When I hear a term or something I don't know about, I dig super deep and I love to figure it out. So it's a really fun group for that too. In the Compassion Congregation, I do weekly sermons, and I do weekly posts, videos, articles, and I also do free mini readings for the people in the group. I encourage group involvement. I really love when people share their stories and ask questions. It's a really beautiful thing. And the group also has group-specific discounts, so it's worth it in the end. You know, the other day I was offering $100 off spiritual development class. $100 essentially is, you know, 2 months of your subscription. So it pays. It's essentially getting things for free. It's pretty amazing. And then I also do past life journeying. Past life journeying is a session where we focus simply on the energetic body and as many obstructions as we can get to. Now, how I do my past life journeying report is I start at the root chakra and I look for any obstructions in the root chakra. I remove and heal and repair those. Then I would move to the sacral chakra. Now, not everybody has chakras. Chakras, to me, are simply an energetic filing system in your soul, and most people have them. And if you didn't have them, I wouldn't see them. And if you don't have them, then we just read the energy there. We just contact the soul, and the soul gives us the information we need. And this is an appointment that can be done remotely or in person. But this is the only session where even if you do it remotely, I recommend that you relax and rest and drink plenty of water and try not to take on a lot of stress. I have had plenty of patients tell me that they definitely feel dizzy, lightheaded, confused, irritable, and it's because I'm working on your soul at a tremendous rate. You know, if I'm working through your soul and removing and rebuilding, I have in the past accessed up to 17 past lives in those 2 hours, and that was something that was super intense. Obviously, it's a really intense healing system. So I do ask that people take time to relax. Now, this can be done online and it can be done in person in Sudbury, Mass. I do have sessions. I bring my oils, I bring my sage. It's a really beautiful experience. You get to lay down and relax on a biomat, heated bed, and it's really a beautiful thing. And I play relaxing music, and it's a great environment. So, and it's a nice alternative for people who want past life regressions. And the reason I say that is because I love past life regressions. They're incredibly healing and amazing. And you know, for the price, you can get a lot more in that term. And the reason being because I'm a guide to accessing the life, and I work as a buffer. So I know where to go, I know what to look for, and I know how to heal that and remove it and then move on from that. So with me as a buffer, we can get more done than a regular past life regression. And we don't have to wait for you to be regressed, which sometimes takes a long time, depending on the person and their energy. So you get to be completely conscious during the whole thing, and you might get emotional and you might have a hard time releasing certain blocks, but it's a beautiful system of healing, and I love what it does to my clients, and I've had really great feedback. I essentially wouldn't do any of this if I wasn't getting great feedback, because, you know, that's what fuels me. I have a drive for healing and helping, and to hear people, the stories and, you know, the reviews, and to get all these beautiful emails really is what encourages me to keep going and keep offering my services to others. So, past life journeying, compassion congregation, spiritual development, and Akashic reports and regular psychic medium readings all can be done and booked, self-booked right through the main page, right through the Book Now link, and anytime you want, at any time and place. There's also options for gift cards. I always recommend that you ask somebody if they want it before you get them a gift card. I find that we project our need or desires for other people to heal onto others, and sometimes they're simply not ready for it. So if you're going to get a gift card, maybe recommend getting a regular psychic reading because it's less aggressive and they might not be ready for the intense Akashic system. But unless they know all about it and they're begging for it, and in that case, that's a great gift to give. And if this is a video I created to post on the page and to post on YouTube to guide people into their own booking process, and feel free to ask questions if you have any, and I look forward to hearing from everybody. Thank you.